The feminists are mad at me. Oh no, I made a video the other day talking about this article that says women are struggling to find men who make as much money as they do. And a bunch of feminists started screen grabbing my tweets or something and like taking pictures. And there's this one that's Lauren Chen commented on. Basically, the crux of the video is me saying, listen, I said it a million times, okay, in my video. I absolutely respect career women. I'm impressed, honored, grateful that we've come to a point in our society where women are free to choose what they want to do with their lives and run careers. And if you have chosen a career and you are successful, congratulations, you have my utmost respect, please. However, I'm not looking for that in a relationship. And that's no dig on you. I repeatedly pointed to the women and said, much respect to you as an individual. You're just not right for me personally. Is it so offensive that I would prefer to date a woman who wants to raise a family instead of have a career? Okay? I believe someone pointed out in response to Lauren Chen that career housewife is the right way to put it. And I think that's fair too. What I want to say is it's really, really simple. And then we'll get to the outrage, which has been blocked apparently. Listen, I work sometimes 16-hour days. I work a lot nonstop. There's a ton of stuff going on. I wanted to travel. I couldn't do it. I have put a lot on my plate. I take no days off, videos every single day, 6 videos, sometimes more. Okay? And I am constantly working on new shows and new development. I am, so yes. Okay, and we'll get to the criticism. The point is, what can I fit in my life? Well, after I'm done working, I sit down and I eat some food and then I'm tired. You know what help I need in terms of a relationship? I do not need a significant other, a partner, or a wife who's going to be doing the same thing as me. I need someone to help me with the social aspects of my life in say, raising kids. And, once I'm done working, being like, hey, I booked us 2 tickets to this show, pack, get your coat, and I'll be like, all right, let's go do it. That's the responsibility I need a relationship to pick up. I do not need a wife who's going to be at a board meeting, and when I'm done working, I go back to sitting in the kitchen, eating my ravioli, Chef Boyardee, whatever, watching Family Guy, and then going to bed. It's a total bachelor pad situation, right? I need some culture, and I need some social assistance. The point is, why would I want a CEO for a wife? I have nothing but respect for the women who are CEOs, and anybody who's a CEO and works as hard as anybody else. Congratulations. But they're outraged, and they're taking everything I said out of context. So in this one, okay, Lauren Chen said, Timcast is 100% right. Thank you, Lauren. I am right. 100% of the time, always. I'm just kidding. If a man already has plenty of money of his own, what's wrong with him preferring a wife that can focus on family life? Nothing. And it's not a dig at any other woman who chooses to do otherwise. I completely believe it is your choice. Congratulations. I respect you and I respect it. Stop getting mad at me. Why are you taking it personally? But I can tell you why. We'll get to it. Women can complain that there aren't enough rich guys out there for them, but the moment a man says he wants a housewife, y'all lose it. Well, see, this woman who tweeted it, she locked her account down, and fine, listen, if you want to take my statements and make them hyperbolic and out of context, you're free to do so, but don't be surprised when people push back. Well, someone screen grabbed it. She said, "This is truly the most cringe-inducing thing I have ever seen in all my life. Tim Pool talking about how ladies need to realize that economically attractive men like him only want housewives and mothers, not career women. Only! No! Talking about me personally." The point I was making is, it's true. There's 2 things you need to understand, okay? Men tend to prefer 20-year-old women. I didn't make that up. I'm not trying to make a dig at women. If anything, this is a dig at guys. Guys, grow up and find some culture in your life and find yourself a wife who's older than 20. But this is from Jezebel, please. If I can't even cite the a supposedly feminist website, Jezebel, and then feminists get mad at me when I talk about what they say, you know what, man? The real reason I think they're angry is, I normally don't like to play this game, but I think they might internalize it. I think maybe these women who are angry are experiencing this problem of only finding guys who are broke and lack ambition. Take into consideration Jezebel's data. This is from 2015. Men's favorite ages are 20, 21, 22, and 23. All men, all the time. I'm not exaggerating. Check this out. Here's a graph showing a woman's age versus the age of the men who look best to her. Now, women in the early 20s like a guy who's a little older, okay? But as time goes on, they actually slowly move to kind of a little younger. But for the most part, guess what? Women prefer men who are around the same age as they are. Got it. Awesome. That's the data. Jezebel's publishing it. Now let's see what guys like. Oh, every guy of every age basically wants a 22-year-old woman. That's the average. The average, I think, is 21. A 48-year-old guy wants a 23-year-old woman. A 47-year-old guy wants a 20-year-old woman. A 46-year-old guy wants a 20-year-old woman. You get the point, okay? Now, take a guy who's economically attractive. And what I mean by that is status, okay? I'm not saying all women are attracted to this. I'm saying if you're a woman, don't be surprised if you can't find guys who have the same status as you. I'll tell you why. I have a career. I'm in my early 30s. I could go on a boat trip and a helicopter ride. I can take you on grand adventures. If I had to make my choice, wouldn't I make a choice in line with literally every other man's preference? For the most part, my answer is technically no. I mentioned the other day, I do like younger women, okay? Because I'm looking for someone who's excited, adventurous, and wants to raise a family, not work a job. I don't care if you want to work a job. I'm just saying, for me personally, I would like to take care of the financial, the life aspect of it. The financial aspect, the supply and demand, and you can take care of creating the family and the social aspects that surround us. I think that's entirely respectable because I can't do it. I need someone who can do what I can't. I don't have the ability, okay? If you would prefer to work at a news outlet and write articles, that's amazing. Awesome. I know some amazing journalists who are women, and I know a ton of extremely talented people who are female. I work with them. That's awesome. But that's a different job. That's a different role. Listen, let's not talk about me. Let's shift it back to this outrage, this pure outrage over the fact that I would claim that a man in his early 30s who has money and success is going to choose a younger woman who doesn't want to be working all the time. If all guys, according to the data, prefer 20-year-old women, what do you think happens then? When you take a 30-year-old guy with a ton of money and all of the availability and options in the world, he can impress everybody. He's got status, intellect, charisma, celebrity, and money to spare. Well, he's going to choose the most attractive mate to him, same as a woman would choose the most attractive mate to her. In this instance, if men find 20-year-old women to be the most attractive, a high status, attractive male is going to go after young women. This is not controversial. This is fact, and it's published by Jezebel. But the outrage is palpable. Now, here's my next little favorite bit of outrage. They claimed that I made a statement that feminists bully homemakers, and my proof was an episode of Family Guy, taking my statement completely out of context and ramming it down a hyper-partisan funnel into the mouths of their followers. The point I was making is not that literally all feminists all the time do this, and I can prove it because Family Guy said so. My point was, sometimes there are women who are pressured into not being mothers because society is telling them to do more, to have careers. I referenced a trope, a stereotype that is common. Not that it is common in real life, but that Family Guy played up to that stereotype. It means exaggeration. I am not saying literally every feminist everywhere does this. The point I was making is that on rare occasions, sometimes, women are looked down upon if they choose not to have a career. That's true. I'm not saying 99% of women. I'm saying it could be one woman, one time, somewhere. It's happened. But the point is, I'm not citing Family Guy's proof. I'm saying it's happened enough that a trope has emerged. It doesn't mean it's always true. It doesn't mean it's a majority. It just means that sometimes there are women who feel put down for not having a career. But the other bit of anecdotal evidence I gave, which is not much merit, before the Family Guy thing, was the point that on OkCupid, I have seen profiles and interacted with them where they say things like, I would prefer to be a homemaker or a housewife, but I have to have this job, yada, yada, yada. I have seen profiles and interacted with women. It's anecdotal. I'm not saying it's proof positive. I'm not saying it's anecdotes. But of course, strip all the context and then get angry. Well, I think the real reason they're angry is perhaps they don't understand why high-profile, successful men are choosing 20-year-old women. I mean, look at Elon Musk. Who's he dating? Like dating Grimes or something? Like, look at Tiger Woods. South Park did an episode about this, about something happens to successful men where they just start cheating on their spouse and going after all these young women. Yeah, gee, I wonder why. It's almost like guys just do this. It's almost like, I don't know, men like young women. So here's the point. It is not that there's anything wrong with women. There is absolutely nothing wrong with a woman choosing to have a career in her early 30s. But I'm pointing out to you, as and in no way disrespectful, that if men prefer younger women, don't be surprised when those who make good money target younger women. I'm not saying they'll be successful. There's an interesting counterpoint. Let's say a guy wants a 20-year-old woman. Well, a 20-year-old woman doesn't find a 33-year-old man more attractive. She prefers a 23-year-old man. You see? Women do like older men to an extent. The point is, guys are going to chase after young women with their money, and that means you will not find them for a date. It is not your fault. It is no dig at you. It is no disrespect for you. If anything, it is a dig at men. Why are you getting mad at me when I say this? My personal preference, like I said, was probably like a 28, 29-year-old, somebody who's worked, has some life experience, but wants to run a social life, not a career life. I'm not, and it's important to stress. I know a lot of guys who are social. I don't want to call house husbands, but their whole life is about the people around them and the experiences. I do work. I build. That's my thing. Some guys don't. Some women don't. Some guys do. Some women do. That's the point is. You know, for these women, perhaps you need a house husband. The other major point I want to stress in this outrage that sparked is like, dude, the point I was making is that one of the first things I said, how do you have a relationship if you're both at work all the time and never see each other? I don't want to be in a relationship with someone so that when I'm done working, I go and sit down in the kitchen and plop some cold Chef Boyardee in a bowl and start chowing away because I might as look, the relationship is meaningless, okay? And I don't think, perhaps there are people who enjoy being career relationships, but I prefer to spend my time with other people. When I'm done working, all of my time was spent doing research and production and you know, like editing and working. And there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff you don't know about, like taxes, accounting. You know, we've got a ton of stuff happening with Subverse. That means when I'm done, I'm sitting here in this chair thinking, what can I do now socially? And the answer is, I don't know. I don't have time to plan that stuff. It'd be great if while I was doing this, there was someone I loved and cared about who was taking care of my family, potential family, and then afterwards said, hey, how would you like to go see what's that movie, Gemini Man or whatever, with Will Smith? I'd be like, cool, yeah, you make the plans and we'll go do it. I work all the time, you handle the social stuff. It makes sense. It makes perfect sense. Look, traditions have changed. We have become more free and accepting and liberal. And it's I find it particularly offensive that I could sit here in a video ranting and raving about how much I respect career women and their choice and I'm grateful to the strides we've made in the society, and they rag on me for that. They rip out that context and act like I'm advocating for some 1950s traditional society when I simply said that don't be surprised when men act this way. But I'll tell you my favorite point that makes my day. I want to stress, I am very happy right now. I am having a very good day. I love seeing the commentary in response to my opinions that Tim Pool must be poor. You want to know why this makes me really, really happy? And whenever I hear it, I laugh and I'm so happy and so grateful. I laugh because I grew up very, very poor and I worked very, very hard. And now I am very, very not poor. Quite successful. I worked for Disney, by the way. And now I've got a big YouTube channel. Well, moderate. I don't say big, but I've got a collective, 1.5 or something. What do we have? Like 1.3 or 1.4 million subscribers on YouTube. And I'm grateful to everybody who watches, who cares what I have to say. And it says to me that if you work hard in this country, the dream exists. It's not the same for everybody. You got to mix in some perseverance, hard work, along with luck. It's true. Opportunity must arise and you must seize that. But if you choose to work 12 to 16-hour days with no days off for 3 years, I assure you, you can make it work too. Sometimes you need advice. Sometimes you need someone to show you where that path is. But when I see this outrage and they immediately respond with, I'm sure he's poor, I just laugh. There was one thing that happened a while ago. I made a video about it, did a commentary thing, where this woman tweeted, who's a journalist, I decided to look up Tim Pool to see how he's doing, and seems so poor, like, oh no, heavens, as if I'm doing bad. And then someone responded with like, wow, from going from a 6-figure salary at, these big companies to now only getting $2,000 a month on Patreon. I'm like, dude, I don't use Patreon. I don't know I never promote it. You understand that money is like, people have chosen to use Patreon without me asking them to. The point is, my success is your success. When they look at me and they try and shoot down my thoughts and opinions by claiming I'm poor, I laugh. No, I'm not. I'm running a business and we're expanding and we're hiring and we're doing great. And if the only argument you have is, oh yeah, well, Tim's poor, that ain't even true. But I laugh because I'm proud of myself for the hard work, for working as hard as I have to get where I am. I'm eternally grateful to everybody who watches these videos because, as I've said it before, I just feel like I'm some dude ranting about his feelings on the internet, and for some reason people care, and they care enough to help support my work through donations and contributions, by watching advertisements and all of these things. And it affords me the ability to expand and do more. It says to me that these fringe opinions from these people who are mean and angry and want to attack me and tear me down are wrong, and they have no argument. Their only argument is, oh yeah, well, you're broke. Dude, the media is a dying industry, and I've had a pretty good run of things, and I'm looking to do more and improve this system and help others. Give back, I guess. But you know what? In the end, if that's all they have, fine, so be it. Let these angry people rant and rave all day. You do you. And in the end, you can just, if you like my content, you can share it. But it's funny. The assumptions they make, the hoops they jump through, perhaps they don't realize that maybe they took the wrong path. And that's what it's really about. The reason they're so angry about me talking about men's preference for young women is because they would like to have a good, successful, prominent husband. But you can't have it all. Now, in reality, it's possible to have it all, right? The saying that you can be a successful career woman with a family, it exists, of course. But I gotta admit, man, that's a lottery ticket. How come men never ask about having it all? Why is it that men, the trope is never that a guy wants to balance work and family life? Actually, no, I take that back. You have, like that movie Click, where when you sacrifice family for work, So can men have it all? I guess it comes down to the fact that men don't carry children, so there's a big difference. Women have that privilege and burden. I don't want to, whichever one you ascribe to. It's a great honor, I think. But men don't have to have these kids. They can focus on work. Why is it that, we don't talk about men having it all? Men just have a career and they work really, really hard, and then women get to have both. No, I think it goes both ways. So I'll end by saying this. I think a lot of these women are angry because they're now in their early 30s and they take it personally. But I mean, this article from Jezebel talks about the wall. Is that what they said? The wall or something? I don't know if they actually put it. Is that what? Let me see if I can find this. I thought they were talking about that idea. What I've just described, the wall and the long accumulation of life, is what sociologists call longitudinal data. Maybe they're not talking about the wall, or I don't know what that means, but I've typically heard that phrase referred to as like, after women turn 30, they have a harder time finding, eligible mates. I don't know why this is shocking to anybody, but I can understand why they're mad. Maybe college was the wrong choice. Maybe you should have been an entrepreneur and worked really, really hard. Maybe you shouldn't take days off. Maybe you shouldn't take student loans. Maybe you shouldn't spend extra money at the bar on the weekends. Maybe you should sit down and work 12 to 14-hour days. Maybe you should start a business and learn and research and work hard instead of blaming everyone else and then getting mad when they point out sad realities. I'll leave it there. This video went way too long. I think I'll put this at the end because I usually just upload in the order I recorded. Because this is so long, I'm going to put this one at the end of today. So stick around tomorrow at 10 a.m. is the next segment, podcast at 6:30, and I will see you all next time.